to our next speaker, Caroline Lina Skindal from the research company Gemius. And she has a degree in sociology from the University of Warsaw. And the floor is yours. Thank you.
Witam Państwa serdecznie. Nazywam się Karolina Skindal
and today I would like to present you with research results that have been carried out with Gemius together with the Nobody's Children Foundation. Just a few minutes ago, we learned about the activities or the research on the activities or internet activity of the youngest internet users online. And I, however, would like to present you with research results on the adults' attitudes towards internet crimes against children. The whole research, or the objective of the research, was to find out what the opinions was of internet users with regard to the threats stemming from any brutal messages on the internet, as well as to find out what the adult internet users thought of the availability of children's pornography online. We've also assessed how frequently, according to the respondents, do we encounter sexual type of crimes against children on the internet, and how do they perceive the possibilities of preventing and combating this type of crime. We've also been able to find out what the internet users thought about the legal ban of any crime against children on the internet, and what are the legal regulations in place in Poland. The research was carried out with the use of online questionnaires. Random sampling was taken between the 29th of September until the 8th of October 2008. With 22,000 questionnaires collected for the data to be representative of all the population of internet users. The responses were analyzed, were used according to analytical weight, with the use of, or on the basis of the age of
ze względu na bardzo dużą liczbę pytań. Niektóre z nich... Dobrze. Ze względu na dużą liczbę pytań, niektóre z nich prezentowano tylko połowie internautów.
For reason of a huge number of responses, we had to make some selections, and we had to find out what is it exactly that is the threat for children on the internet. The respondents were asked as to how often they feel that they see a publication of the image of a child without the child's consent on the internet. Every third internet user thought that it happens very often or it happens often. However, every fifth internet user thought that such a phenomenon happens only once in a while on the internet. If we take a look at the diagram to the right, you see that the opinions of internet users with regard to the effective combating of this particular threat online is somewhat split. 42% of internet users think that this threat can be combated effectively, and just as many believe that it's not at all possible. Whilst when we take a look at the right diagram again, whilst 70% of internet users think that publishing a child's image on the internet without the child's consent should be prohibited by the Polish law, however, most of the respondents, 49% of the respondents believe that it is indeed prohibited by the Polish law. And this is something what you see on the pie chart if you take a look to your right. However, 28% of internet users believe that verbal violence against children, vulgar taunting and harassing of the youngest internet users is a phenomenon that is seen quite frequently, or even seen very frequently, in Polish language internet. fewer
Zdarza się to rzadko,
respondents
bądź,
felt that it doesn't
lub
happen
wręcz nigdy.
often, or it happens seldom, or it actually never happens.
Jak spojrzymy na
If we
wykres z
take a
prawej
look at the
strony,
diagram to
większość
your right again,
internautów,
most of the internet
uważa,
users
iż,
believe that
tych zjawisk jak wulgarne
these
wyzywanie,
phenomena
straszenie
such as
i
vulgar
wulgarne
taunting
nie
and
da się
threatening
skutecznie
and harassing
zwalczyć
cannot be
skutecznie
effectively
w internecie.
combated online in the internet. 43% of the internet
podczas
users gave such a response, while 39% of respondents felt
jednak uda,
that
że jest to możliwe.
it is possible.
Internauci zostali
Internet
poproszeni
users were
o
also asked
udzielenie odpowiedzi,
to
czy
give answers
przemoc
whether
słowna
verbal
wobec dzieci powinna być
violence against
zakazana
children should be
przez
prohibited
polskie prawo.
by Polish law.
Jak widać na
And
wykresie
as we
z
see
lewej
here
strony,
on the diagram to your
zdecydowana
left,
większość badanych, ponad 80%,
majority, over
uważa,
80% of the respondents
tak
felt
być powinno,
that this indeed should be the case, while
co dziewiąty
every
internauta,
ninth internet user
się z tym nie zgadza.
did not believe so.
Jak zauważymy,
As we can see, while 83% of internet users felt that verbal violence against children should be prohibited,
prawie 2 razy
almost
internautów uważa, że
two
te
times
zagrożenia są
as fewer of internet users felt that these threats were indeed persecuted according to Polish law.
Według internautów
Internet users also felt that the phenomena that are the biggest threats to the youngest internet users online were publishing of brutal and pornographic materials in a manner which was easily accessible to children. Over half felt that this indeed happens often or even very often, while opinions on the possibility of combating these phenomena were quite split among internet users. As we can see on the diagram to your left, 43% of internet users felt that the publishing of brutal content cannot be effectively combated on the internet. Only 1% fewer of people felt that this was possible. The perception of the present legal status is such that internet users feel that the legal status is far from ideal, or the legal status quo is far from ideal. In this case, as we see, the majority of respondents felt that these phenomena should be prohibited by Polish law. However, twice as fewer of respondents felt that these phenomena were indeed prohibited or banned by Polish law. Similar is the case if we take a look at publishing of pornographic content in a manner easily accessible to children. Every third respondent felt that the publishing of pornographic content in a manner easily accessible to children happens very often. However, every fifth respondent felt that it was quite often. Internet users are quite pessimistic in terms of the possibility of combating these types of threats. Almost half, however, are quite optimistic in terms of the possibility of combating these types of threats. Almost half of the respondents of the internet users felt that the effective combating of these types of threats is indeed possible. And here again, almost again, as many as 83% of respondents felt that the publishing of pornographic content in a manner easily accessible to children should be banned by Polish law. What is interesting is that 12% of internet users were against it. Now, are these phenomena, to the question whether these phenomena are indeed prohibited by Polish law, half of respondents felt that indeed this was the case. 1/4 of the respondents felt contrary, however. Now, with regards to the threats pertaining to the intentional presentation of pornographic content to children, only 1/4 of respondents felt that the intentional presentation of pornographic content to children is a frequent phenomenon or a very frequent phenomenon. Now, again, the respondents are quite optimistic with regards to the possibility of the effective combating of these types of situations. Over half of the respondents felt that there was a possibility of the effective combating of these types of phenomena. Again, a definite majority of respondents felt that the intentional presentation of pornographic content to children should be banned by Polish law. What is interesting is what we see here to the diagram on the left. Every 10th internet user felt that such prohibition should not be present. But the definite majority of respondents have or had relatively exhaustive information on the legal regulations. Over 80% of respondents felt that such practices were indeed banned by Polish law. The research also gives us information on how internet users perceive pornography, children's pornography, and pedophilia on the net. Approximately 1/5 of the internet users felt that seeing, collecting, publishing, and sending, uploading, and downloading children's pornography happens often or very often on the internet. As we see here on the diagram to the left, publication and sending of children's pornography, only 17% of respondents felt that this was something that did not exist on the internet. 12% of respondents felt that this is happening very, very rarely. If we take a look at the diagram to your right, over half of the respondents is optimistic with regard to the possibility of combating these types of crimes, while every third respondent felt that this was impossible. Again, the majority of respondents felt that the publication and sending of children's pornography should be prohibited on grounds of Polish law. What is interesting is that 6% of the people questioned disagreed entirely. 3/4 of the respondents felt that the publication or the sending of children's pornography is indeed prohibited by Polish law. Similar is the case similar to the case of publication of children's pornography. We see results with regard to trying to talk children into meeting for sexual purposes. As you see here, some believe that this is indeed a very frequent phenomenon. Every third respondent felt, however, that this happens almost never. As far as the possibility of the effective combating of this phenomenon goes, the opinions of internet users are quite split. 41% of internet users believe that such a threat can be effectively used, while 36% of internet users felt this is not exactly the case. Here too, the majority of internet users felt that talking children into talking children into meeting for sexual reasons should definitely be prohibited. But the majority of respondents felt that talking children into meeting for sexual purposes is indeed prohibited by Polish law, while every fifth respondent felt that it's not exactly the case. What is important, both in terms of children's pornography as well as pedophilia on the internet, every third respondent had no clue about these phenomena. This is a very valuable piece of information for representatives of the sector of education as well as NGOs, which can help plan future media and educational activities. The internet users were also asked about the possibility of combating a crime against children on the internet. 1/4 of the users of the internet felt that the technical possibilities of establishing the identity of criminals on the internet are insufficient to effectively persecute them. Over half of the respondents felt that the perpetrators on the internet can be pinned down. 42% believed that in most cases it was possible, while 15% felt that this was always possible. Among the most important difficulty in the effective combating of cybercrime against children, respondents felt that it was the passivity of the users of the internet who never notify the police of such cases. As many as 73 respondents subscribed to this opinion. In other places, it was the insufficient involvement of internet providers as well as the anonymity of perpetrators on the internet. And that was respectively 58% and 54% in terms of results. So it could be said that respondents feel that the protection of children against cybercrime is predominantly the responsibility of the users themselves and the network administrators. The role of the state in this context is relatively smaller. The insufficient involvement of the police in combating this type of crime or the lack of appropriate legal regulations were not as often indicated, and they had 50 and 49% of responses. What was interesting is that internets also do agree with the possibility or the ability for the police to combat or to persecute for crimes against the children. 51% of respondents agreed to the application of entrapment, the tool of entrapment used by police, also pretending to be a child. 17% of respondents, however, were against any such types of methods used by the police. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I hope that the results that I have presented will give you or have given you good information on the effectiveness of the educational campaigns conducted, and it will also serve as a starting point for the planning of future media and educational activities so that they can be reached by a higher or a bigger group of recipients. More detailed information on the research you can find in the report under the title Threats Against Children on the Internet. This will soon be published on the website of the Foundation, on the Nobody's Children Foundation, and of course you will be welcome to download it. Thank you very much.